corner where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We got to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys, Joe, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfield.
Chief Concerns is presented by BetOnline and Olipop. Marcus Dash here from Chief Concerns, and ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the year. It's football season, and you know what that means? It means it's time to get in on BetOnline. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200,000. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our 150 slot games. Head to the website today and get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here. Come on, baby. Go, 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 go. Yes! That's a first down. That's a first down. That's a first down. This football season, I'll be putting down normal sodas like Coca-Cola for Olipop. Olipop offers a healthier alternative with its low sugar content and natural ingredients. Olipop is more than just a drink. It's a wellness companion that supports your digestive health. Packed with prebiotics, this fizzy elixir helps promote good bacteria in your gut, leading to improved digestion and overall well-being. So go ahead, click the link in the description and use promo code SODALOVE and get your can of Olipop so you can enjoy the game guilt-free. Go Chiefs. Use the promo code SODALOVE for 15% off now. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of our Chief Concerns post-game show. Another episode, another win. 6-0. Chiefs with the Super Bowl rematch wins 28-18, going 6-0 on the season, baby. And I'm loving every second of it. Obviously, you know, not the sexiest of wins as far as if you like good quarterback play. This wasn't your game. If you want a game where guys throwing bombs all over the place, you know, throwing for 4 touchdowns, this wasn't your kind of game. If you like defense and you like rushing attack, this was your kind of game for you, especially if you're a Chiefs fan. But what did you guys make of this 28-18 victory in San Francisco?
Well, first I want to say that every win is sexy. I don't care what it looks like. It's sexy. It's sexy to me. Okay. That had to be my gal that I'm gonna take to the dance. She's sexy to me. Okay. So she may not have to be a 10 to everybody else, but for me, I'm good with it. But I think, you know, the guys went out, man. They executed what they needed to do for the most part. And I said this, and I think I started tweeting out that one of the main things we had to do, keys to victory when I was talking about it, is we had to get on the back of Kareem Hunt. They had to ride his shoulders. And so that's exactly what we end up doing. And to me, that was probably the best of the game plans to do, especially with the injury to JuJu, having somewhat of depleted wide receiver room, some of the challenges facing there with the injuries that we had this year. It was practical to do that. So behind Kareem Hunt, and I had Steele, P. Ryan, those guys came in and did a great job in the ground game. And so not only did the running backs do a great job, the tight ends did a great job too. With Noah Gray, we started getting the ball to Travis Kelce. He's still commanding 2 or 3 guys on him. But when he came in, he delivered when he was supposed to. Offensive line did a pretty decent job going against Bosa at times. Sometimes it's kind of hard when you put him out there on an island with Bosa. That's just a tough task. But we just start wearing them down, and you start seeing it toward the fourth quarter because we started running the ground game. It was start ground and pound, baby. That's what it was. But not only that, the defense this game, man, was exceptional. It was absolutely incredible. And so one of the main things we talked about, key to defensive victory, we had to stop those guys I've seen up here. I don't know if you can see it up here, 1, 11, and 85. And so we did those things. Debo was a little sick, they said. Ayuk, hopefully he's going to be coming back around. We don't know how bad his injury is going to be, man, but you hate to see that for a guy that's just a very talented player for that organization. But also, too, we had to stop Purdy. That's another thing we had to do. Start getting moving his feet, start bringing some pressure to him. That changed the landscape of the entire game. And so, because he had a depleted wide receiver room, he started throwing to Ricky Pearsall. Good to see him out there catching the football for the first time, and some other guys. But you start to see the difference between Patrick Mahomes and a Brock Purdy with depleted rooms. The difference we're talking about, the talent-wise. Okay, and I know everybody start talking about how great Brock Purdy is, and he's a good quarterback in his own right. But Patrick Mahomes is just the elite of the elite, and he shows you what he can do. And so going back to our fearless leader, PM15, what he did out there on the football field the second half, man, it was hard to put into words. My brother actually is in Mexico right now, and he was around a lot of San Fran fans, and he's standing up. He's just like, the people were just shocked watching what Patrick Mahomes is doing. So that's what it took. And then let me finish off with this. Obviously, special teams. Mecole Hardman came in, gave something on special teams. We needed that return at the worst time that we needed it. It was the best time you could possibly have it. And so he came in, man, he delivered on that. I've been saying it for the past few weeks, Marcus. You know this about the special teams, and we finally got us one today that sparked somewhat of a momentum swing, if you will, put us in position to score points. And so that's what we needed to do. And Mecole Hardman was exceptional on offense as well.
Couldn't agree more with anything you said, JD. It was amazing takeaways from this. Teja, we'll get into defense and everything else that kind of what JD addressed more in depth. But any big takeaways from your point of view on this game?
Just overall, another very early 2000s Pats type game where you're watching it looks ugly, and it's very fitting for Brady to be the commentator of a very Pats-like game. And he even said at one point, just very complimentary football from the Chiefs. And it just brought back so many memories of hearing commentators say that over and over, watching like Pats games from the early 2000s, where you'd be watching, you'd be like, this is ugly football. Why can't you guys beat them? Right? Like I couldn't imagine being like a Niner fan or a hater of the Chiefs watching this, just thinking like, this is so beatable. Mahomes is throwing 1 million interceptions. Why can't you win? And I have a few Patriots fan friends, and they would always just come away going, it's just what we just like, no, we're going to come out of an ugly game with a win. We're going to claw and get out of it and come out with a win. Just, we don't look at any of the other stuff anymore. And maybe because we're so used to just collecting hardware and stats when we win. And this season's just been a completely different style. It's just completely different than anything we've ever seen from there. We've taken, like, we've had games and stretches where we've done this kind of thing, but it's been like the entire way. You said turn away if you don't like good quarterback play. I mean, it's been that way pretty much all season. If you look at Mahomes' stats, if you're looking at just numbers, I mean, it's not even acceptable. It used to be bad for Mahomes' standards. Now it's just like, if you look at his numbers from pure number standpoint, it's just not good, period, for a quarterback to be doing. Right. But when you're 6-0, you can swallow it. And if that's your game, and that's how, again, you complement each other on both sides of the ball. Because that's one thing the Patriots didn't do in the early 2000s. They didn't turn the ball over. You know, it wasn't sexy, but it also wasn't that flawed either. Brady would have like a 1 touchdown, 0 interception game, 201 passing or something. Again, not flashy, but didn't make mistakes. We're making a lot of mistakes. Our defense is just so freaking good to the point where teams can't really capitalize on them.
It's canceling out.
Yeah, and I think one of their touchdowns came off our interception. So, I mean, really, the game shouldn't even been that close. We should have just killed them. I do think it's very fitting that the rosters are so even today. Both teams missing their running back, both teams missing their receivers, and both teams have a star tight end to lean on, right? Like, it's just very Very, very even.
Yeah. Our guy, Amanda Brown, commenting on there. What's up, buddy? Marcus Flash, sub JD and Teja. Patriots also didn't have penalties, which is true. I mean, Patriots are very, very clean, whether people want to say refs were in their pockets or not. Very similar as well. People said the refs were in the Patriots' pockets back then as well. Yeah, so we'll kind of get into the defensive stuff. So obviously, we had the turnovers offensively, and that's problematic. I think I read online that Mahomes right now is on pace for 15 TDs to 19 interceptions on the season, which is pretty crazy to think about that he's on pace for 15 and 19. That's just like, you never expect Mahomes to have those kind of numbers, but nonetheless, 6-0. That's at the end of the day, the W is what we're looking at. But the defense, you mentioned we kind of like just, I think it just goes to the kind of our mentality going into this game. You go that first drive on offense, we go to the midfield. We do a fake punt at midfield right after we get a 3-and-out from them right away. We do a fake punt at midfield, awful play. If you're going to go for it, you got Patrick Mahomes, go for just go for it. You don't need to have a fake punt run. But nonetheless, we do it. We get stuffed. But for me, when I saw that, I'm like, it's obvious that we trust our game plan and our defense, and we can go for it at midfield. And if we don't get it, we have a defense to stop this team. And right away, we get the ball right back. Justin Reed, the interception. And all game, we just held this team in check. Brock Purdy looked like Mr. Irrelevant. He finally looked like Mr. Irrelevant. We made him look like that. Shout out Christian Roland Wallace, interception, rookie, undrafted guy. And then Jaden Hicks, rookie, huge interception in the end zone and a beautiful pass rush, inside move from George Karlaftis. Defense all throughout the game just made plays, and that's talk about Patriots. Patriots defense made plays. They made timely plays, and that's what our team's been doing all year long, and especially in this game today. But what did you guys make of just the defense overall play today that you hadn't seen all season? I just feel like tonight, anything that we did offensively, any negatives plays, any negatives, any turnovers, defense was going to getting it right back for us, making it even again. And it was like that all game long. I never felt worried at all about this game, especially with our defense playing the way it is.
I think mentally, man, they playing at a place right now that Spags has taken all of his mindset, his creativity as far as like what he wants to do with those guys, and they've embodied every part of it, of who he is as a defensive coordinator. Okay, that means coming from all different sides. It means to make plays. It means to challenge guys. The secondary challenge receivers that was out there at the game today, probably like I was asking them to, like I would expect them to do. And so they don't really care about making a mistake. They don't. And that's where you got to play. You got to play, like free football where, hey, it doesn't matter what goes on. It doesn't matter what our backs are against the line. We're going to be able to come out on top. And so what you just seen was the defensive line kept coming. The linebackers played a hell of a game, especially Nick Bolton. And then the secondary, they grab, they pull, they tug, they do everything out there, right? And they just like, hey, man, we're just going to live with it. And so they have just the cohesiveness that they play with one another is probably the best in the NFL at any team that I've seen this year. And so I know they talk about the Denver Broncos, what they do, what they bring to the table, how good their secondary stuff is. But the Chiefs, man, I really don't see any type of weak link in some of the things they do. Now, obviously, with Jalen Watson going down, it kind of changes things somewhat, a little bit. Najee came in a little cold off the bench, struggled somewhat, trying to move. And then we talked about this. Nazee's a safety trying to play corner, but he does a good job of it. And so sometimes, he technique-wise, he's still getting his eyes caught in the backfield where he should be learning where he sinks at in coverage, right? Or, who do you have in this area? If this man, you got to be in the zip pocket. And so I think some of those techniques, if you're kind of new to a position, at least that's consistent, it's going to take some time. But defensively, man, I mean, Chris Jones came in. George Karlaftis did a great job. I got a little worried because we weren't really playing on they line of scrimmage because they kept running that outside zone on us and running backfield. And they start realizing, I'm like, okay, now I see actually how they're calling this. And so when they start doing that, they just start cutting back toward Tranquil, smaller linebacker. They were looking for him like, if you don't fit in the hole, then we're going to hit it. That's what Shanahan's offense is. That's what they've always been. Okay, is that zone team. We look for the gaps, one cut and go. That's what they're really good at. So, but we did a great job shutting the running game down, shutting Purdy down, and shutting the wide receivers down. The only one that had a good game, if you will, against us was George Kittle. He caught some good balls, man, but he was like the only guy they had out there left that you had to go to him. So,
yeah, it was really dominant on our defense. They were 2 of 11 on third down. That's their worst percentage since week 3 of the 2022 season. That's Purdy's only. It's a second 3+ interception game of his career. Only other one he had was 4 against Baltimore. We just did things to them that they haven't had done to them. And you can't say injuries. I don't want to hear about injuries because, as we know, every team's dealing with injuries. So it sucks, but I don't want to hear that at all from any opponent from us because we're one of the most battered teams in the league. We were just so good. Our D line just is so in tune. It's so nice to see guys step up around Chris Jones and not have to just have a one-man wrecking crew, even though he is a one-man wrecking crew. And I don't know what it is about Spags. He just seems to have Shanny's number. I don't know if he stole his playbook. I don't know what it is, but he's got him down, man. I mean, I think 2 guys in the league that have to kind of do a soul check every other week to see if they still have it and it's not owned by the Chiefs are Shanahan and Lamar Jackson, because we have a knack of playing against them. We just play against both those guys so well, and Shanny's got to be so frustrated. But, if you are going to take lumps from a team, why not be the Chiefs? But our defense is in such a groove. They just took off from last year and just carried on momentum, just got better. It was like it almost feels like between last season, the postseason, the Super Bowl, and this year, it was just one long year of just getting better. Like they just didn't lose any momentum. It's like we have the same exact team almost, just getting better and just gelling together. You would never even know we lost Snead from the way we play. It's awesome to watch.
I think it's and to be honest with you, like you were saying, Teja, I mean you relatively do have the same team. You really have all the guys in the same spot. Snead was that guy that brought a lot to what we did defensively, and so those guys been able to come in and fill in. Jalen Watson has come out of that entire group, at least opposite of McDuffie, and just taking the reins to be the guy. Okay, he ends up getting hurt, and so for me, Nazee's done a good job. Joshua Williams has kind of been, somewhat up and down a little bit. I think he's still trying to find his way in that space, but it's still relative to the same group. We get Amenahu back, we're going to be that much better, and that's the scary part. Is we're going to be that much better with him. So,
and we did say cornerback and defensive back period was one of the positions on defense where we could afford to lose somebody. We were deep already going into the offseason, and we just added more talent to it. So we just replenished it, and we were already pretty deep at that position. So if there's one position you can lose a Snead caliber player, it was a cornerback and defensive back in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm gonna address this question that Amber Brown is asking, and I'm glad he's actually brought this up because that was some of the things I put out there, like I wanted to actually talk about. So Amber Brown says, "Is it me or does Worthy need to run through contact and fly patterns? If you look, you'll see him pulled up once. He got separation on the one play, then falls down on the interception." So let me talk about Worthy a little bit here. What I've noticed in the past few games with Worthy is for a guy that's very fast, he gauges his speed a lot on some of the routes that he does. Okay. what Amber Brown said is absolutely true. He needs to be able to learn how to run through contact. He needs to be a little bit more physical when he runs routes. That's something I think is going to be his biggest challenge on this level of play. Is he's got to learn how to utilize his hands, utilize his body to get open, and then learn to separate. The speed's going to be able to separate, but sometimes when you gauge your speed when you're running routes, he's unsure of himself. At least it looks for me. Okay, from my standpoint, being a wide receiver coach, I'm looking at like the routes he's running, and he's kind of slowing down on some of them. Like I said, sometimes the definition of what he's trying to do is not apparent. So if he's running the corner route or he's running like the sail route, all those different things, he needs to have a little bit more stick, a little bit more better detailed in route running. Okay, that's something he's going to have to work on to get better. And once he gets that with the speed that he's got, man, he's going to be a dangerous guy. He's going to be a dangerous guy. With the type of injuries we have, I think he can be successful. I think he can be that. I think he can be that. So yeah, he needs to get to that point of actually saying, "Let me be great. Can I just give myself the green light to be great? That's it. Don't worry about making a mistake. Just go out there and go play." But absolutely, I do believe what Amber Brown is saying is absolutely true, man. That's why I wrote that down. That he has to be more physical, gauges his speed on particular routes, and he's got to give himself green light to be great. So that's a great point. What do y'all think about that?
I think, JD, we always talk about this and how, he's a rookie. This is some of the stuff you got to learn coming to the league, especially a guy who's coming to the league as slight as he is. And that's why, in the offseason, probably one of the things when they have their their exit interviews in the offseason, you got to get girth. You got to get some weight on you. Maybe some more muscle on you, because, you're going to get knocked off your route. You have the speed. You got all the speed in the world. Mm-hmm. As far as, when you're getting pressed, and I'll say this on top of the other stuff you're talking about, he's getting I'll give him credit. He's a tough son of a gun. He's getting knocked around a little bit. And this is right now when he's only catching 3 balls a game, and the three touches he does get, he gets hit. And it's not, they aren't small little smacks. He's flying, and that's one thing he need to improve on. But yeah, I think being able to create and run through their contacts is going to be something that he needs. He's going to need to get with, and that's, I think, all part of a full off season program in an NFL team. I think that's the stuff that we're not going to maybe not see it progress that much we want during the season. I think it's something we're going to see more so in the sophomore season and the next season. I think so with having a full off season in an NFL program.
Worthy looks like a guy that we had a particular plan for, and the injuries just blindsided us. We weren't ready to accelerate what he was doing for us, I guess you could say. I think he was supposed to be a particular role for us, and we're having to expand it a little bit. And I think it's exposing some of his deficiencies. I think we'd like him to be just that specialized go guy. And we had Rice as the yak guy to get underneath routes. We had Kelsey in the middle of the field. Brown was going to do a little of everything. And I just think all these injuries made us thrust Worthy into a position that I don't think he or we were really prepared for. And it's exposing, because of the reliance on him to do more than he should. He's a first-round pick that we traded up for. It's exposing that he's not really ready for these things. And I don't think we prepared him really for these things either. Yeah, that one that he fell down, that looked like their legs got tangled up. But yeah, I do notice that. And his credit, he did blow by the guy on that overthrow by Mahomes. That was Mahomes missing that. So, if we're going to give Worthy a hard time about, missing plays out there, that should have been a touchdown. But that's over, because I had a buddy ask me recently, I traded for Worthy in fantasy, dude. What's the deal here? Like, why isn't he, he's a first round pick in an offense that's lost a bunch of receivers? Why isn't he doing more? And that was pretty much my explanation. It's not that simple. I think we weren't ready to have him be the guy that we need him to be right now. and we never thought we'd lose this many receivers.
It's a good point. Good point. The one that he overthrowing, and I think this kind of goes to the point I was saying before. Sometimes when he gauges some of the routes, Patrick's still trying to find out, like, okay, are you running full speed on this one or not? Like, when I put it out here, he's got to lay it out there because he knows he can go get it. So overshooting a guy like Worthy is like, man, he's putting some muscle behind this. And so maybe he's, tick of a second off, half a second off from really maybe, having a chance at something like that. But then, like you said, they get their feet tangled. Well, if he's running through contact, he's being physical, catching your feet is not even, it's not
That
even,
wouldn't happen.
Yeah, right. And that's kind of the problem. So I agree with that point that you said, Teja, and Marcus too, which y'all were talking about for Worthy. What I do like though is because they are giving him the ball so he can get smacked around a little bit, so he can actually feel how this thing actually feels.
He needs to.
Yeah, number 6 came out there, man, and hit that joker one good time, and he went over to grimacing. He got on the table, and they were like, "Hey, man, you okay? You gonna be all right? Bloody your nose up a little bit. Go on back out there. You good? Okay, you all right?"
It's like a puppy getting scared.
Yeah, you gonna live. Yeah, man. Hey, it's a little scary, right? But you're gonna live. You're gonna live. So, yeah, go ahead, step out the yard a little bit, okay? Explore somewhat. We're gonna find out exactly who you are. And so that's what I love, at least giving him something where, yeah, you might get smacked around a little bit, reverses and whatnot, but we gotta try the things, and it is being thrust into that role. Like, hey, man, you gotta realize this next guy up, you're the next guy.
Yeah.
This, you're first round pick for a reason. You're the next guy.
You're the guy.
You're the guy. You're the guy. Yeah. So it has to happen. Fair or unfair, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
So, let's wipe the Similac off your mouth. Let's go to work. You fine, young fella. You're gonna be all right. I understand this perfectly. I know exactly how that is coming in as a rookie. As a guy that came in and started, I came out, I was the guy. And so it was trying to find your way around everybody else, that you had stars, guys that was already established in the league, and kind of finding your way in the fit of it. And so he's right there at that area, that area right now of trying to get in there. But it's one of those things like growing pain, man. Hey, we ain't got time to baby you. It's not one of those things. We ain't gonna do that. Okay, we're not. So great question, Dr. Brown.
So obviously, we talked about X, being banged up a little bit. He was fine, obviously, just taking some shots, because you're not in the Big 12 anymore. And he learned today. If he hadn't learned already, he definitely learned today. But then, JuJu was a late add to the injury report on Thursday. Hamstring injury. He plays the first series, immediately comes out. And you could tell by his walk and the way his body language, the way he's walking the side, you knew it was over. It was done. He was walking head down, walking the sideline, done. So you got JuJu's now down. We're down Rasheed Rice. We're down Hollywood Brown. And it's getting to that point now. We're talking about the receiver room again. Obviously, everyone's been talking about the receiver room anyways, but now it's not a matter of should we bring someone. The fact that we are injured now, we have yet another injury in that room, and now if God forbid anything happens to Xavier Worthy, that's another injury problem, right? I will say this before we talk about if we do need to go get someone, right? I got to hand it to you. You kind of mentioned JD Mecole Hardman stepping up a punt return. He stepped up all over this game. His hands were all over this game. And I don't know. I know he went to the Celebrity All-Star games shortly after the Super Bowl, called himself Mr. Walkoff with the thing on the back of his jersey. Yeah. But another nickname for him. Is he the 49er killer? I mean, because we saw what he did in 2022 in that regular season game. We saw what he did in the Super Bowl. And then today, 2 for 38 on the ground with a rushing touchdown, 1 catch, 17 yards, his beautiful punt return that he almost took to the house. I mean, his handprints were all over this game. So, yeah, I will say, JuJu did go down, but we saw another guy emerge from that room, and that was Mecole Hardman, a guy who we've seen flashes of doing that. So, it's yes, I do think we need to go get someone as a depth piece because we're losing guys left and right here. But Hardman shows if you do lean on him and give him some touches, he can do what he did today, and that's not just a 49er thing. We've seen him do it against other teams as well. So I love seeing that when one guy goes down, another one comes up and shows, hey, like, you got me still. You still got Mr. Walkoff here, and he showed it today that he hasn't asked it if we utilize him. And JD's been begging Nagy and Andy Reid to utilize the other guys in the room since week 1 of the season, including Mecole Hardman.
Yeah. And we've known that Mecole Hardman has this ability. When he was here with Tyreek Hill, and they was trying to go, run side by side, who's the fastest one, and challenge each other about being better receivers than what they were, which both won their natural positions. But Mecole has done a good job of making plays. He's a playmaker. That's what you do. He's an athlete. He hits the ball in space, and he's dangerous. And so whether it be punt return, kickoff return, a screen or whatever it may be, he can do those things. He can catch the deep routes. He can do all those different things. And obviously there's been some challenges. People have talked about some of those things. But he gets better with the chances and opportunity that you give him. He's one of those guys. And so sometimes when you decide not to, give some guys some attention, then they wane to the side. That's what happens. And they kind of, sit back and maybe get a little disgusted with what's going on, how they're being utilized. And you can see it in all their game. Well, now throw him into the mix. Different type of guy. I see a different type of energy to him. He's talking smack to the guys on kickoff return. Like he's more engaged. When he run it across, like you see, he's pointing out, I got man. So he's sitting over saying, I got man. He ain't telling this to actually, he's not telling this to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick can see he's running man. He's telling the guy that got him, you got me. Oh, you got me? Okay, watch what I do to you. And that's what it is. It's a challenge. So, it's a psychological game. But a guy like that who needs stimulation to be good, that's who Mecole Hardman is. And so he wasn't getting that up there in with the Jets. The Jets didn't know how to get that out of him. He got that here. And the reason that we know how to use Mecole Hardman is because, he his teeth was cut here. And so that was very important what he's able to do. Now, other guys in the room, okay? Justin Watson, okay? He caught a ball today, okay? Sky Moore, they threw the ball to him a little low. He drops it. Thought he trapped it, got it in, still frustrated. We said this. It's probably a mental thing. He's fighting to try to get everything right. And so when you do it, you tense up, and it's just everything's amplified. And it's going to be that. So he's having a hard go at it. So, yeah, you start talking about bringing guys in. JuJu's injury warrants that decision now, for me, at least, at this point. Like, now, okay, now because you are kind of depleted in that, that room, you should go and probably get another guy. But what we also did see is number 83 come up here and absolutely light it up too. Mr. Wonderful, Mr. Fix-It, the one that comes in and does a little bit of everything, Noah Gray. And so he's turned into another weapon that we've gotten on the offensive side of football, besides Kelsey. And I love that. I love, relying on tight ends. I'm a tight end, so I love when we throw the ball to the tight ends, getting those guys involved. I seen Forza come in the game, him getting a little clock. So you can have a mix. And I love just the way that we just diversify what we try to do offensively, man. I like it. I like it a lot.
Gray area, baby. You know me. I was already I mean, my man, I was already on board for bringing someone in. I mean, now I'm like, now I was sending the coach ticket out. Now it's first class, JD. Okay.
Right.
Before I was sending a commercial. Now I'm sending a private jet to get somebody in here. I mean, and part of the reason I said this on our betting show on Friday is that if you let the deadline pass and we don't get anyone, and then one other guy gets hurt, we go from needy to screwed. So in a sense, we're lucky that JuJu went down right now, because now we actually have some time to bring someone in to have more time to think about it and ponder who to bring in for what price. What do we really need? More evaluation time, right? And more time for them to get acclimated, hopefully, to, because we're 6-0. What's our game lead, Marcus? You said earlier about over AFC teams.
We're two games ahead of the AFC.
We're 2 games ahead, and we're 6-0. So we're in really good shape. I'm not worried about regular season at this point. Mahomes ain't winning the MVP with a negative TD to interception ratio. So we're not worried about accolades at this point.
According to Vegas odds, going into this week, he was still the favorite to win the MVP. I don't know how.
That's really crazy.
Yeah, really? I don't know how, but yes, he was the favorite.
He'd be the first this week. Quarterback of all time to win the MVP with a negative TD to interception ratio. But if anyone can do it, like they always say, Patrick Mahomes never ceases to amaze us. So it'd be another thing he could do. If anyone could do it, it's him. I don't think he will. So I'm not worried about stats. I'm not worried about any of those accolades. Like right now, postseason is what I care about. So as long as you get a guy in here who can get acclimated with the offense and get up to speed, by the time the playoffs roll around, then I'm fine with it, right? I'm not expecting this guy to come in and be our main target 7-catch-a-game guy. That's just not going to happen, whoever it might be. But I do think this allows us opportunity to be like, all right, like now it forces our hand. Like winning ugly games and no one getting injured. Let's say JuJu didn't get injured and we keep underperforming at the receiver level, but like we keep winning. It's like, I think we're okay. Well, we can't say that anymore. We need someone here now. Like, that's not even a discussion anymore. Nice game from Hardman, but 1 catch for 17 yards is not gonna pull me away from thinking we need a receiver. So it's, our leading receiver had 4 catches in this game, or leading pass catcher had 4 catches. We've gone under that twice in the past 4 years. So like it's close to the level, right? And yeah, I think it's no question. We definitely need to bring someone in here. I don't think he needs to be a bona fide, high paid Devontae Adams type. But I think we need someone in here who can beat man coverage. I know it's not that easy to, you can't just speed dial that around the NFL anymore, but that's what you need.
Yeah. There's some guys out there that have an ability that's not going to cost a whole lot of money. Sometimes you might have to give something up in the draft and, maybe 1-for-1 or something and make a quick deal. I think they could get something like that done for sure. And then, of course, we've talked about guys that we have on our practice squad. You still got guys that's in the waiting that could come out here and make some plays and give us something and contribute. But also, too, I don't think and I spoke about this last week. We were talking about, I do believe at some point, I don't know when, but like you said, Tage, three games for the playoffs, I do believe that Hollywood Brown might have his sights on coming back before then. To me, it's a little quiet. It's a little things out here and there, and I'm just like, I ain't really saying too much about Hollywood. Hollywood's just kind of watching and waiting in the background a little bit. So I can see him right now. He's probably, like I said, juggling around and stuff. If he's able to run and flow like he's been able to do, get his speed, he might be closer than what we think. And I do hope he comes back. So that could be another factor into what we've talked about, getting guys here. So we know there's a couple of pieces. Pacheco's going to be coming back hopefully at some point. CH, was another name that we talked about coming back, maybe giving something. I think we do such a great job of making adjustments and tailoring our offense to the weapons that we have better than anybody in the NFL. And so that's why I said all the guys are interchangeable playing. They can all play every position. They really can. And so they don't mind putting Travis Kelce out there wide or Noah Gray out there wide.
Yeah.
Or bringing, Worthy on the slot. All the guys run some level of motion and crossing over, the shallow crosses, slants, and all those different things, finding holes and windows with the curls and the hooks. That's what we do. That's what we do. But we still have to have an element where we let teams know, if you tries, we're going to throw one deep. And that's why I like, even trying to one on Worthy, because it's like, whoo, like he got behind us. Like, yeah, the sucker's fast for real. And so sleep on him if you want to, because we going to throw one on you and don't let him hit his head on the goalpost. So.
Yeah, in politics, they say the October surprise, the Hollywood Brown stuff could be the January surprise for a lot of the teams in the league with Hollywood Brown potentially coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, like I think we're all in agreement here. We do, we have guys in the practice squad, and there are guys that can be had. I think even yesterday, I think Adam Schefter reported that teams were calling the Jets for Garrett Wilson. I know that'd be amazing. The guy has 2 years on a rookie contract still, so that would be a kind of guy like, you know what, I would give up a high draft pick for. I mean, that good. But I don't know if anything's going to go with that. And the Cooper Kupp also apparently teams been calling about him. If we're talking about dealing with injuries, well, yeah, the money aspect, but we're also talking about dealing with injuries. That's a guy who deals with a hamstring injury every other week. No. But yeah, so we're all in agreement with that.
What do you think about Mike Williams?
I'm out on that.
Really?
I'm a big no.
Oh, so you like Traylon Burks, but Mike Williams is not too far for you? Are you kidding me?
Traylon Burks, he's got potential. He's a young buck. He's got potential with Andy. But the good news for you, JD, is they just put Traylon Burks on IR, so that a threat of him coming to Kansas City is not happening. At least this year, it's not happening. And then Mike Williams, another guy who does deal with injuries quite a bit. But we're going to bring in someone. I want to bring in someone who's like has a clean bill of health, who's never had a history of lingering injuries. Mike Williams has dealt with that.
The last 2 years.
Deontay Johnson, my number one. That's my number one option. The money's there. The money's there. It's about what time he traded for him. We'll owe him 3.5. That's if the Carolina doesn't swallow any of the salary on that. We'll owe about 3.5 to 4 on him. We wanted him a few months anyway. We tried to call Pittsburgh for him. They wouldn't do it. So we know we already like him and what he could be in our offense. That's my number one. He could beat man. He's a good route runner. I know he's had some questionable concentration drops in the past, but this year he's been pretty solid at it. I don't think he has many drops. That's my number one option. If you're going for more of a fence swing, if you're going for more of a bargain, that I would go Darius Slayton. Those are my two top.
So Jay, you're big on Mike Williams?
Yeah, I am. I'm actually am.
Wow.
For the simple fact that we don't. We was talking about Justin Ross, what he can do. Mike Williams is a guy that could go up, catch the football. We're not giving him anything difficult that he has to do. That's the thing about it. So, Aaron Rodgers throws him on the bus because he changes plays at the line of scrimmage and everybody has to know the new play that he's running. Okay. Everybody's got me on his page. That's part of the problem. Mike Williams, like, shit, you done changed this thing over 10 times since I've been here with route on run. And so that's the issue. Mike Williams is a very, very capable wide receiver. Won't cost us anything at all. And that injury would probably put other teams out. Can you imagine a guy who's sitting over here is trying to revive his career, played in our division? He would love to at least give something back. I mean, that sucker could catch the football. He could catch the football. Him and Allen were probably one of the two tandems at the time, man, a few years ago, was almost unstoppable. They was hard. Now, like you said, the injury bug hit him. So let's just say the guy, he's come back and he's fine, right? Let's say he's recovered and he's doing okay. So he looks like the odd man out up there with the Jets. He's the odd man out. He seemed like he's a quiet guy. Doesn't look like he's an ego type of dude either. I think he can fit well. The thing is, we just have to utilize that. So if Patrick got in a position like, dang, what do I do? You're going to find that 6'5" joke over there to catch a football, go up and get over anybody. And then you talk about red zone, it changes things. So I'm just saying that certain pieces, utilizing a guy like him that doesn't cost a whole lot of money, because you ain't really out. But was he making like $700,000 is going to be against you?
Yeah, not much.
His base was $5 million this year, so by the time we get him, we'd owe him about like 2.5, 2.8, maybe 3.
Yeah.
They might want to just give him to us. They might,
They might eat some of it for us to take them.
yeah.
Maybe.
He missed practice this week, right when they traded for Devontae Adams. It was a DNP. I don't think they was listed. I think it said personal reasons. Could be there could be stuff. I mean, we don't know. Roger did throw him under the bus, so there could be some stuff going on with behind the scenes.
Hey, come on over here. Come on over
Well,
here.
he's active, so eventually he got on the bus. They ran him over with.
Let Andy put his arm around him. Let Andy put his arm around him.
But why get Mike Williams when you got the real deal in the practice squad right now? Why go get Mike Williams? You got Justin Ross sitting and waiting in the wings.
Justin Ross ain't did nothing like Mike Williams done in the NFL, and that's just the reality of it. I like Justin Ross, but Justin Ross is not Mike Williams yet. He's just not. And so what I've seen Mike Williams doing, we've all seen, not just me, we all seen what he's been able to do in the NFL.
He's been successful. He earned a fat contract in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he could be good for Justin Ross, having him in the room. It could be a Clemson guy, a big receiver. Could be good for him as far as being a vet presence for another big guy in the offense. So,
he bodies guys up. He plays physical. That's what you need. That's what you need. You need a guy like that, right? So you have the little bodies, then you got a big dude that you can throw the ball to. Catch everything.
So you'd rather give up a 6th for Williams than the Chiefs' 3rd, not the Titans' 3rd, the Chiefs' 3rd for Deontay?
So Deontay, after this year, is that what I'm?
Yeah, he's a free agent. They're both free agents after this year.
Yeah. So, Deontay's it's going to cost a whole lot of money. But you're just saying just for this year. I mean, shoot.
It doesn't have to be for this year, I guess. I mean, when they were going to trade for him in the offseason, I assume they weren't that wasn't just going to be a 1-year thing for them, or maybe it was. I don't know.
Yeah. So, he's going to be asking a big check. That's a question. We know this. So the Chiefs have the capability to sign a guy like him. Do you take that? That's really the question. I like Deontay Johnson. I do. I like it. Strategically, what does that do for you, in the future? That's the question. So Mike Williams, you could, hey, look, man, look, we give you if you want to go to Gates Barbecue, we give you a annual pass for it. Okay, you kind of damaged goods, brother. We bring you in, but this is what we got for you, right? So
sources this week did say that two teams had shown interest in Mike Williams, his former team. Chargers interested because they're depleted right now with their wide receiver room, and the Pittsburgh Steelers were the other team reportedly calling about Mike Williams. So we were not amongst those teams. Also, JuJu's injury didn't bar him from the game yet. So, we might be another suitor potentially. Let me ask you, Adam Thielen, another guy who we've talked about before on the show for the last 2 years. We were interested in Adam Thielen when he became a free agent 2 years ago or last offseason, I believe. Thoughts on Adam Thielen? I know it's an older guy, another guy talking about injuries. And also, too, I also have to, and a lot of Chief fans need to realize that at this point, we are going to be talking about guys who do have, there are some cons to these guys. And yes, some of these guys are older. Some of these guys do have injury problems. I mean, we're not getting an A+. We're not getting a guy who's going to check all the boxes. Some of these guys have injury problems. And yes, Thielen's one of those guys. How do you guys feel about Thielen?
As long as we get him his grandkids tickets to the game, he'll be all right. So
I'm fine with Thielen for a year. That's a rental.
Yeah.
He'll ball out for the rest of the year. We're off in the sunset afterwards. Call it a nice career.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Just to fill in, just for depth, to make sure we have one more guy that a team has to keep tabs on. Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'm okay with that. Especially not giving up that much. Although, I said late 3rd for Deontay, but I mean, he's not under contract after this year. They're not. I mean, probably
they didn't give up a lot to get him.
They didn't give a lot to get him, so it's not like they're trying to say we need to recoup what we got type thing. If they don't plan on re-signing him, then it's like literally they're going to lose him for nothing in a few months. So who knows? Maybe he won't go for a 3rd. Maybe he'll go for a 4th or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So final topic here. I feel like every week on the show till Pacheco comes back, I'm going to highlight this guy till Pacheco does come back. And if he's not the top, and if when Pacheco comes back, if he's not our 1A anymore, I still want to be able to talk about this guy, and it's Kareem Hunt. I think he is going to be comeback player of the year if he continues at this pace. What he's going at right now, he should be comeback player of the year. I don't think there's another person in the league who should be getting this over him. With the whole story of Kareem Hunt and what he's doing on this team, kind of giving us life when, like, defense is playing fantastic, but Mahomes is not playing like Mahomes. But that's fine because we're giving the guy the ball behind us 20 times a game, and he's scoring 2 touchdowns. He's doing what he's doing. He's throwing back to 2018, Kareem Hunt. And I got to say, I did a quick look here. Kareem Hunt, people want to say, oh, he's old, he's washed. Well, he's not. He's shown. If you haven't been watching, he's not, clearly. But back-to-back 20-carry games. How many times has Pacheco had back-to-back 20-carry games in his career?
Never.
Teja, you want to guess?
I'm going to say maybe once in the playoffs.
No, JD's right. Never. Pacheco's never had back-to-back 20-plus carry games. But Kareem Hunt, in his 2 starts of his 3 games he's been back at this old age that he's at, 27 and then 22 tonight, or 22, 21 or 22 tonight. 27 and 22 back-to-back. I mean, that tells you trust in him, and it also tells you that he's him still. And if he didn't show you last Monday or 2 Mondays ago, he should show you what he did today against the San Francisco 49ers at San Francisco. I just think the fact that he's gone back-to-back 20-carry games, and Pacheco's never done that. I think there is a case, and people have been throwing it around, that when Pacheco does come back, he may not be the main guy. It may be a committee between the two of them. What do you guys think about that?
Well, if Pacheco comes back, man, you got to make sure he's fully healthy. There's no reason to rush him back, especially at that position too. So, him injuring, his leg, I mean, that's significant for a running back, man. That's where you make your money. So is that maybe a concern for re-injury? Possibly. But Kareem Hunt have shown that, okay, Pacheco, we understand who Pacheco is. We do. All right. Nobody's forgotten about who he is, his ability, and anything, what he's done here with the Chiefs. But also, too, we want to sit there and say Kareem Hunt is that guy. He's came in, he's proven himself. We've known this. He's been a bell cow for us. And they got a good mix between him and Steele. P-Ron came in and gave a little bit. So, I don't think you worry about that bridge until you come to it. That's how I feel about it. I don't want to feel like people are picking sides. Pacheco, and then they both Chiefs. What do you mean? Let them. Hey, who's ready to eat, who's doing well, hand them the football. Let them do what they do, man. But we're gonna have Pacheco here.
It is becoming, based on everything I'm seeing on Twitter, it is becoming, Hunt's the guy. Even when Pacheco comes back, it's like, okay, well, yeah, we have a good problem to have. Well, they put it that way. When he comes back and he's healthy, we have a great problem to have. That's the way I see it.
I think a few of those things you said could be true, though. I think you don't have to rush Pacheco back. I think they can be a tandem for sure because they both do different things well. Now I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Kareem Hunt, if I told you take away the carries aspect, if I said Pacheco had averaged 3.8 and 3.5 his last 2 games, you wouldn't be calling him the Pro Bowl running back either, though, right? I mean, like, yards per carry wise, they're not like, I'm not like blown away by that. Like, he's getting tough yards and he's getting positive yardage. But he's not breaking runs. His long in 3 games has been 13. It's very Pacheco-ish. And he's averaging 4.2 because of his first game, but his last 2 games, 3.8 and 3.5. So, if he continues at his trend, he'll be averaging 3.2 next game. Now, he did face the Niners, so that's no easy task. But my whole thing is that let's not sell Pacheco for pennies in the dollar because we have a guy getting 3.5, 3.6 his last 2 games. That's all.
I think, I always talk about that. I mean, context of that matters, right? That 3.2 or 3.5, like you said, it is hard sledding. He probably won't break one out 20 yards or any of those things. But what he's doing is he is wearing defenses down.
Yes.
Linebackers down. And so you want somebody who's not only taking hits, but delivering hits and blows to the defense. And they hate tackling this man. And I know the defense is in there like, man, how's this guy keep coming? How's he still just staying up? And I love how when you hit him, he's still turning his body and bouncing for 2 or 3 those 3.5 yards. He's like, shoot, we got to keep
tough yards.
Tough yards, man. It's hard sledding. It's hard sledding out there. And that right there, man, is frustrating to a defense. It's frustrating. You know why? Because there's 3.5 or whatnot carries, move chains. Okay.
Yeah.
It's time of possession. All those things that it takes to win, especially 4-minute offense. He's the ideal back that you need. Okay. He's the ideal back that you need that we haven't had, right, Tej? Marcus down in the red zone. Come on, in the goal line, we have a guy that we've been handing the ball off to like that. Usually, it's the little trick plays and running back and forth, and the Slurpee pass and all. Everything they got new. But I'll give you a play. Here we go. Power, Kareem Hunt, 32 power, 33 power. Okay, 23 dive. Kareem Hunt. That's what we're doing. That's our play. Kareem Hunt. Hand the ball off to him.
He should have had 3 touchdowns today. He almost got that one, and the next play was when Pat trucked that guy. He wasn't 3. I was so close.
Well, I was pissed we got away from him. We got away from him and the run game for a little while, actually. Yeah. And finally, that our best drive of the second half, we ran. It was a 13-play drive. I think we ran 10 times. Yeah, we ran 10 out of 13 times that drive to score a touchdown. Mm-hmm. I mean, we got away from it for a little while. And I think that's why you don't do fake punts like that. You run the ball. I mean, you have a guy who's not flashy, but that's the thing, though. This is what I like about Pacheco. This is what I also appreciate about Hunt. They're 4 yards a carry. They're legit 4 yards a carry. Mm-hmm. They're not negative yards, 1 yard, and then like a 20-yarder to make up for it. Yeah. They're 4 yards every time. You know what I mean? For what we need, I like that better. I think we need that more than a guy who will get 1, 15, 1, 20. I'd rather have a guy that gets you 4 a pop, a real 4 a pop. So I think they fit each other really well because I want Hunt to stay fresh. And if he's not going to win comeback player of the year, he's certainly going to win ice bath player of the year because he's getting work. And I think you need Pop to stay fresh because Pop's good for 4, but he takes a lot of hits getting those 4, man. They're tough yards. And he's not a big guy, right? So it adds up. So I'd like both those guys to be working with each other to stay healthy.
So are you saying you prefer Pop over Kareem Hunt?
When they're both here, when they're both back this season,
just in general. In general,
what to start the next season with? You mean if they're
I think Pop's a much more talented running back than Kareem Hunt.
Like you're starting a franchise tomorrow. Who are you starting a franchise with between the 2 running backs?
Pop or Kareem Hunt? It's just a fun test right here. We just.
I think Kareem Hunt's a more complete back than him.
Okay.
I think he's a more complete back. I mean, Hunt over a course of a season with 200 plus carries. I've seen him wear down. I saw him wear down with the Browns. He looks fresh because he hasn't been doing anything for a long time. I think Pop's got more legs left. So if it was let one guy walk in free agency and keep the other guy for the next couple of years, I'd probably rather keep Pop it that way because I don't know how much Hunt has left in general. Because he did look weighted down in Cleveland when he was even getting half the work. I'd rather keep both. Look, I mean, not like Hunt's going to break the bank by any means, right? You don't even wanted him until we grabbed him. And then the other side of it, Pop's still cheap for another year or 2. I don't know what his contract situation is, but
yeah, he's still on his rookie contract, so we got him for another 2 years.
And there's a plethora of running backs in the NFL. It's deep all over the place. So we picked up our starter off the street. He took an Uber and was getting 25 carries a game. So that's how running back is right now in the NFL, which works to our advantage. I want guys to stay fresh. Is what I want. So I think they fit each other really well. I think You get Pop less touches than what he was getting. I think you get Hunt at some less touches that he's getting. It'll be more effective the entire season is what I want. We're not a normal team, right? Like most teams think in regular season terms. We don't. We add about 4 games to our season every year. So we're in the 20s, baby. We have 20 over the last few seasons. So we're a different animal altogether.
That's a dangerous combination. With Kareem Hunt, you see what you're gonna get. He's gonna be between A, B gap, C gap right there. Pop out, get out there toward the D, run on the outside, turn his legs. But I do believe that. We know Kareem Hunt was up there eating sauerkraut and sausages. That's what he was doing up in Cleveland. Sucker was a house back there, man.
Yeah, he was eating those chili dogs, man.
Chili dogs. Yeah.
What do we say? What was it that? What do we say that meal was over there again?
I think chili's a Cincinnati thing. That's not a. It's not
I know. I'm sure it leaks over into Cleveland, but
yeah, I think whether he wins comeback player of the year, I think in Chiefs Kingdom he's won over everybody who was maybe on the fence of him coming back to Kansas City. I think he's won over everybody he should have. And I'll say this about Kareem Hunt. I feel like he's not going to go elsewhere. I feel like that he was meant to come back to Kansas City. I think that there is going to be this kind of Jerick McKinnon-like thing where he comes back and signs for a year or another year or two and be like that Jerick McKinnon kind of guy.
Shoot. The good thing is because he wasn't wore down up there in Cleveland, he still has a lot in his tank, I think, at least another 3 years. Being behind Chubb has extended his career. I say that. So he's not the typical running back.
So you got the Polish boy sandwich, one of the foods Cleveland's known for, and that is a kielbasa sausage placed in a bun, covered with a layer of French fries, a layer of barbecue sauce, and a layer of coleslaw. And while the sausage is typically grilled, some establishments quickly deep fry the sausage after grilling it and prior to assembling the sandwich. Kareem Hunt was eating good in Cleveland.
It's like I was having a couple of those. I'm trying to tell you.
His nickname was the Polish boy around Cleveland is what I heard.
That's right.
No,
I know. He was saying it. He's like, yeah, man, yeah. Who's this the other one for your girlfriend? No, that was for me. I'm taking it home so I can eat it later. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. You got one for me? I did. Where? I got 3? Oh no, that one. No, that's a backup.
It's like with the commercial. Oh no, my brother, you got to go get your own. That's what he's telling them. Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, that does it for us. We hope everybody enjoyed our post-game show episode. The Sunday Night Football is on right now. Jets and Steelers are on. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you were watching this midway through a halftime show, I hope you guys enjoy this podcast for the night. And everybody in the chat, Doug, appreciate you coming out. Lee Matthews, Jay McCullen. Some of our familiar faces who usually come out and watch us on YouTube. But we hope everybody enjoyed the episode. And we'll be back. JD and I will be back on Monday night, tomorrow night. 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for JD's grades of this Week 7 game. So we hope everybody enjoyed the episode. I hope everyone comes over to YouTube to subscribe to our channel and watch us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and every post-game show. So,
yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
Good, man. Enjoyed it, man. We'll see y'all later. Great win for the Chiefs. Great win this weekend. Beautiful.
6-0, baby. 6-0.
Only undefeated team in the NFL. Let's make that point.
That's right. True. Minnesota's out.
Yeah.
Kansas City in. All right, guys. We'll see you guys Monday night. Take it easy, everybody.
Later on, guys.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.